Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming two dynamic queens. First time to the show. They are nervous. I told them to just relax because, I'm easygoing. I'm a conversationalist. We're not going to do no Q&A. This is about to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the CEO of Houston Serenity Place. The lovely Wanda Brown is in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am great.
Good. Good
Thank
to see you. You look lovely.
Well, thank you.
And she is the queen mother of the queen. She's the State Director for CPA. The lovely Miss Leah Dean is here.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am great. Thank you.
So we're here to talk adoption. Mm-hmm. And adoption care. So, Ms. Brown, tell us about Houston Serenity Place and how long you guys been around, how it came about, and all the services you
Absolutely.
offer.
Well, Houston Serenity Place Residential Treatment Center is a facility for children that have been removed from their home, so they're in CPS care, and they come to our facility, and what we do is just work with them. We provide a safe, nurturing environment. That's our number one goal, is that they have a safe, nurturing environment. We've been around for 15 years and actually doing business as such. I was a teacher coach before, but this has been my passion, my dream, my God-given mandate and mission to do for children. Yeah. And so for the past 15 years, this is what we've been doing.
And I'm sure that right now, with the current climate of the country, period.
Yes.
That has probably been a lot going on your way.
Absolutely. You just wouldn't imagine the impact that it's having on, families, children, nations, communities.
It's
and
traumatic.
So it is. And that's exactly what we do for our residents, is to give them trauma care, informed care and treatment that addresses the trauma that they've been through. We are always full, with everything that's going on. We have a facility that's 71 beds, and we have that's boys and girls, and a facility for girls that's 23 beds. And we have some ideas for expansion. We have properties to do that because there's so many children that are needing care. We address trauma as one of the first options that we need for kids that are coming out of homes and communities that are needing care. Yeah.
And Mama Dean, State Director of CPA. So what's your role? That sounds like a big role.
Well,
the whole state.
Well, and the reason why it's the whole state is because we started in the Galleria with one office in 2016. In April 2016. By April 2017, we opened the Woodlands, and April 19, we opened Dallas.
Wow!
So we're expanding. We want to take over the state, and go national.
Yeah,
those are our plans.
So wow, that is That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah,
no. Thank you.
And that is actually the concept. When we first started the Houston Serenity Place, we wanted to do wraparound services for children. You may have heard of DePelchin service children. Yes. That's what we do. So we wanted to be able to take them from our treatment facilities and move them into a less restrictive environment, such as our child placing agencies, which is our foster homes, so that they can be adopted, have forever homes. And that's the goal, is, for every child, because every child should be able to be in a safe place. So we're looking for, at the treatment center, we're looking for staff that have the heart to service residents and service children. That and it's a very big job, or if you will, because to service children that have been moved out of their homes, you can, number one, they're mad and they're angry.
Get out of my head, Mrs. Brown, because that's where I was going to go next. I mean, I'm sure handling with it. There's a lot of issues
we're dealing with. Every
like
day.
You said, that they're upset, they're mad, they probably have a lot of emotional issues, don't know how to deal and cope.
Yes, these kids, it's just like if you or I were taken out of our surrounding or our environment, that's a disruption.
Yeah.
So these kids go through emotional disruption in their lives. So we are trying to place them and get them back to the normalcy that we're accustomed to. And that's kind of hard sometimes.
That is a challenge.
That's why we offer so much training. We offer training to our staff dealing with trauma-informed training. We do cultural diversity. We offer so much training to the staff as well as the foster parents that come in. Once we get applicants that come in for foster care, we do training with normalcy. We do CPR. We do SIDS. You see all these kids getting left in these cars. We're taking care of all of that. Once these parents finish, if they don't have the passion, they'll have it after we get them through all of our pride trainings. And we just go very, very in depth. In our pride training, we actually tear the parent down so they can actually see the trenches that these kids are in and then rebuild them. Yes, where they can have a better understanding. So when John Doe comes to their doorstep and John Doe is not the cookie cutter child that they think that John Doe should be, then they can help build that child, help give that child the normalcy, like I said, that we're accustomed to.
Them down. I am so glad that you said that, because oftentimes, we hear a lot about these foster parents and families that are just in it for the money. Yeah. They just want to get a check. Well, you can't
just be in this really for the money. And that is, and that may be what they're thinking when they want to say, I want to do that, and they raise their hand. But it really just can't be about that, because you have to have the passion, or you'll find yourself in a case or something where you don't want to be. And so that's not something, you have to actually have the passion and the heart to want to do this, because, we do many home visits for the CPA. Right. Their home visits, we come out checking things, checking. Of course, at the treatment center, we're regulated by licensing, so they come out and they're checking, and they look at making sure, because children have rights, and that's one of the reasons, even starting this this mission that God truly gave to me when I was just 10 years old. It was to, and when I was seeing children at disadvantages and things that were going on, that children should be able to have a safe, nurturing environment, and whereby they're safe and cared for, so they can step into their destiny. Matter of fact, that is our motto, is stepping into your destiny. Yes. And you think about it, not everybody even think about what their destiny is. And when you're a child, do you know that you have one? Yeah. So that is why we're passionate about what we do. And we want to solicit to others that are passionate about children going and stepping into their destiny. Then we want you to be a part of our mission and our team, because we really need the help. As you said before, with our nation right now, what's going on with all that's we're seeing, it's very troubling, and it's very traumatic to our children and our families and communities. So when we get the child in, we want to get them from start to finish, where they are now can move into a forever home, be adopted, be safe, thriving.
Mm-hmm. We have a wraparound service.
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, and that wraparound service, once they're at the residential treatment facility where they actually stay, they're housed there. Once they complete different goals there through the individualized service plans, we treat each need according to what is needed.
Right. So they have a service plan, as Leah's talking about. Every child have an individualized. We have therapists, we have psychiatrists that are on staff. So we have the whole, we have direct care staff, which we call our resident support staff. So that gives support daily basis, right hands-on in the house with the child. And then, of course, they get all these other services. So,
man, listen, y'all are answering the questions for me, because I was going to ask that in terms of the staff. First of all, you're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Miss Wanda Brown, CEO of Houston Serenity Place, and Leah Dean, the State Director for CPA. I was going to ask on a psychological level if there were therapists to help, because absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Then they,
all
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
I mean, because
And it's based on their needs.
Speak Spanish too.
Yeah, and it's based on their needs. Some
Exactly.
children may need once a week. Some may need services twice or three times a week with their therapist. We tend to have our children can range from all kinds of levels of, in the foster homes, they're moderate basis to specialized to intense care.
Right.
We treat all levels of children.
And all ages in the foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 0 to 18.
Okay.
Yes. Babies. Yeah.
Yeah. And the babies come in with issues.
Yeah.
So we do artistic kids, sex trafficking. Oh my God.
Yeah. Children.
Substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mrs.
We
Dean, I'm
cover
so glad you brought
everything.
that up.
Mm-hmm.
We cover all. We meet them where they are.
Where they are.
Absolutely.
We meet the kids where they are.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that because I heard something that is very troubling about how some of these children are being sex trafficked
Oh, yes.
through the system. And I thought to myself, how and what? Like,
Yeah.
really?
And that's sad because we vet these foster parents. We do background checks. We do
Home visits and all that.
on the visits, who comes to their home. My motto is, if they pull up to the curb and blow, we need a background check. If that's your friend, we need a background check. So whoever comes to your home, I need to know who they are. I need to know the purpose why they are coming to your home. And then we also ask the kids. We go into the foster parents' homes. If there's a specialized child, we're in there twice a month. The therapist is in there twice a month. You have other people that are providing services in there twice a month. So this wraparound system is to try to prevent anybody slipping through the holes. Now, am I going to say that it's always a sure way? No, because you have people that are in it for the wrong thing.
Right.
And those that are in it for the wrong thing, as my parents used to say, what goes into the wash will come out in the rinse.
Yep.
Yeah. We're there to try to catch it, if that's what that is.
And listen here, and if you were to see her face, I can tell that y'all don't play the radio
we don't
when
play.
it comes to that.
We do not
and that
play.
is so important because I've heard and seen that how a lot of other services how it's just here, boom and go.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, and
Yeah.
same at the treatment center. We to qualify, you must, if you are a direct care staff or a resident support staff, then you must have a high school diploma, of course, or either a GED. But we also run all the background checks. We do fingerprint checks. You get checked.
You get checked.
Drug checks, drug
Yeah.
check.
Talking about the
tests.
vetting
Random
process.
drug
You
tests.
have
Yes.
all the trainings before you will be given a group or a child that you care for. So, and our ratios are 1 to 5 or even less than that, depending on the level of our children. So, yes, you definitely want to make sure that we weed out as much of everything that could cause a problem as we can. But of course, remember, we talk about trauma. We bring our own trauma also.
Right.
Now, who hasn't had some
Sort of
of
something in
trauma?
life. Yeah.
And so we do test and do trauma training with our staff so they are aware of any trauma that they may have happen in their life. We do a lot of staff engagement, and staff engagement does several things for us. One, we get to see how they react. We give them a scenario. We do it with several people so that they have multiple people that they will be working with. So to engage, so we'll get to see them on how they interact, how they engage, how do they talk to each other before we ever put them out on the floor with the children. And we do role playing. All of that is good. And once you get on the floor, of course, and you're face to face with an individual or a child that's having an emotional time, then your skills and techniques and all of that will need to rise. And hopefully you don't resort back to what you know, but what you've been taught,
Right.
and utilizing your skills. So we try to cut down on any predators or people like that will come in and take advantage of
That's amazing
children.
because the children need to be protected.
Oh, absolutely.
And it bothers me that a lot of people they don't think or feel that way. They're thinking that the child can handle things as if they were an adult, and it's just like, come on now, your brain doesn't start all the way development. Like development doesn't stop until you're 25 years old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen to Access Houston. We got Wanda Brown, CEO of Houston Serenity Place, and Leah Dean, the State Director of CPS. Go ahead, Ms. What were you going to say?
Not CPS, CPA.
I'm
the
sorry.
CPA.
CPA.
Houston Serenity CPA. What I was going to say is on the CPA side, all of our staff are degreed, and they go through 40 hours of pre-training before even talking to a child. They're also background checked, and then our parents do a pre-40-hour training, as well as a 40-hour training after that. And then they have a continuous training of 40 hours per year that they have to keep up with. And we offer all the trainings. My staff and myself are all certified as trainers. So we go into the home and train. We go in, the foster parents come into our office and train. We try to meet the foster parents where they are as well, where we can, I'm sorry, lost train of thought, where we can,
it's all right.
Well, we want to make sure that we're making every effort for them to become a foster parent for us. And so with that, as Leah was talking about the training and the requirements on some of what their education is, at the facility we have, and it's not required by state, but we have clinical service officer, which we've added, and we also have a team to ensure treatment. Now, our clinical service officer, our compliance director, we've just become CARF approved accredited, which has been something the state is mandating. It's coming down. We decided to get ahead of that. So we are accredited 100%.
Y'all are being diligent about it. You
scored 100% on our application.
Above and beyond.
Be above and beyond what the state requires.
Yes,
above
definitely.
and beyond. Yes. Absolutely.
Now that shows that that you for real about it.
Passion.
That you really care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the passion is there.
We want to do the best, and we want to recruit the best.
So for those who have a love for children, who hate what's going on, hate to see a child in any type of situation, how can they become a foster parent?
Okay, they can go on our website. It's serenityrtc.org, www.serenityrtc.org, or they can call my office at 832
834
6152.
6152.
Thank you.
Right,
God, I have so many. The thing is, I have so many offices. I put all the numbers together. Yeah.
Most queens do have a lot of things going on.
And everything is in my cell phone. That's funny.
So, and then Ms. Brown, for those who want to be a part of what you guys got going on. What do they need?
We are looking for staff, good staff. You can go on Indeed for job placements. Okay. You can also visit the website that Leah just noted. But Indeed is how we've best been able to, and word of mouth, been able to get our staff. So that's how. And I want to tell you, we've been 15 years in Acres Home. We're one of the best kept secrets in Acres Home. Yeah. Same place, same owners for over 15 years. And doing what we're, yes, absolutely. So we're looking for staff. We do want to hire from the community. We service kids all over the state and all over the region.
And give your site again. What you was?
I'm sorry?
Your website again? So people can go.
www.serenityrtc.org. Yes.
Okay.
Remember, because we're one entity.
Yes.
We have several operations under it. So we're the residential treatment center, where the children come in. Then we have the child placement agency, where our children from the residential treatment center can exit and go into the foster homes and possibly and most likely and hopefully and prayerfully be adopted. Mm-hmm. So, and then
that's it.
That's what we do.
That's what you do.
And at the CPA, yes, at the CPA we do adoptions, we do kinship, we do regular foster. And a lot of people don't know what kinship is, but kinship has been going on forever.
Well, yeah.
Kinship is when your grandmother is taking care of you.
Yeah.
That's kinship.
Oh, okay.
Kinship
I didn't know that there was a word for that. That's been in the Black community forever.
Exactly. So why not get the same benefits that the regular foster kids get?
Absolutely.
You know, why not get the benefits that the adoption kids get?
Yeah.
Your tuition is paid for. You can go get as many degrees as you want. You get a reimbursement for taking care of your grandchildren, your neighbors, your nephews, your sisters, your whomever is a relatively kin to you. Doesn't have to be blood kin.
Right.
Somebody that you know and you want to help.
Listen,
that's in the system.
Now I'm starting to feel the type of way because you all have been around this long, and the services that you are offering are amazing. And this is my first time hearing about this.
Wow.
Like, you all, I should have been had y'all on this
yes,
program.
definitely.
My
and
God.
we will come back whenever you want us to.
Because I was just about to say, listen.
Yeah.
Open invitation.
Well, thank you.
Whatever you guys got going on, if it's an enrollment drive, whatever it is, like you all are happy, just hit me up to come on the program.
Look, we're
because
gonna be
the
doing
work that you're doing is very imperative and important for the Houston community.
Yes,
we're going to
We're going to be doing a toy drive. We do. We have to get back to school drives.
Right.
Like I said, we want to give these kids the same normalcy that we're used to, that
absolutely.
we're accustomed to.
And even though they're in a residential treatment center, it's not just a housing place for them. It is a home. We provide a home-like environment so they can get the normalcy. Our kids participate in athletics, they cheerleading, they are on bake teams. One of our kids scored the highest in the school on the math portion of the standardized test.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's awesome.
That is amazing.
And that gives, and they're graduating. We have children that are graduating. And so that's a big deal to us. So yes, of course, we've got a lot that need. So of course, when you're working with children, it's a village and it takes a village to help.
It really does.
Let me tell y'all, we done took up the whole segment.
Oh, wow.
I just thought we were going to talk for a good, 10, 12 minutes. We done talked the whole 24 because but I'm glad about it because the community needs to know that Serenity, that Houston Serenity Place exists.
We exist. And just not in the existing, but we are growing. We have 94 beds right now at our facility. We have 94 beds, and by November, we're adding another 30 beds. And by this time next year, we'll have 150 beds for children that are in need. So.
And the CPA has 36 foster parents. We have 128 children in our agency that are placed in these homes.
Okay.
And mind you, you have to know that, and I would be remiss not to say this, it's over 690,000 kids that have gone through the CPS system. And there are over 390,000 that still need to be placed.
Yeah. Crushing, but true. Yeah.
We have kids that are sleeping in offices at the at DFPS, at the CPS office.
Yes, I'm glad you said that to remind me that we partner with the state, and we're one of the agencies in the state that have a program that's by the governor, and it's called the Temporary Emergency Placement, and that's for children who are sleeping in the offices of the CPS office. I mean, sleeping, that's where they stay. They're sleeping because they're
babies,
hard to place, and there's no placements for them. And so we're one of the 3 facilities in Texas that have this particular contract with the governor's office.
Wait a minute. Did you say one of 3?
One of 3
in the whole state?
In the whole state. Yeah, one of 3.
I'm done.
One of 3, and we take those babies in. It's a no eject, reject. So we bring them, they're in, they come in, we cannot eject them. We don't reject them or eject them. And when we get them ready, and we've been successful. Today we have to determine what's successful in everyone's eye, but according to what we do with them, it's successful for them to be able to stay in a placement, receive services, get the support, get into school. Some of those children have not been to school in months. Some have been trafficked.
Some have never been to school.
Right.
Yeah.
Some have been
never been to school.
And so what we get then, our facility gets a positive discharge for that. Every time one of our residents leave successfully, it's a positive discharge, and that is certainly one of our goals and aims, is for our children to positively discharge. And I like to say that they're not there by happenstance, even though it's not necessarily the circumstances any child would want to be in, but not by happenstance, but for them to receive those things that they need to be successful in life, and to move on into their destiny.
Well, listen, I know that the Lord has a very special place for you all in heaven, because you're doing God's work right here on earth. The passion is there. I could tell. I've been trying to keep my eyeballs from sweating because it's beautiful what you all are doing, but yet at the same time, just so it breaks my heart that the kids are going through, what they're going through at the same time. So, Houston, step up. If you want to become a foster parent, log on to the website, serenityrtc.org, serenityrtc.org. Leah Dean, the State Director of CPA. Thank you so much for coming on, Miss Wanda Brown, CEO of Houston Serenity Place. Man, come back, please. Just let me know when you want to when you want to come back. We continue to get the word out there because this is so important.
And I just want your listeners to know, if you be willing and obedient, you'll eat the good of the land. That's what the word says.
Hey.
So if you be willing and obedient, and that's what we call ourselves to be. Willing. We're willing. We'll be obedient.
And what a way to end it. That's a good word.
Become a home of serenity.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, ladies, so much. This was amazing. Thank you all for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No
That
doubt.
was our first time doing it. I'm a little nervous.
You done cool down now. Thank you for listening to Access Houston. Listening to Access Houston. Listening to Access Houston. Listening to Access